and welcome to another episode of Remember When with Dionadoherty, a podcast where I, Dionadoherty, ask my guests to remember when something happened in pop culture history that had some sort of effect on them. Just to remind you that there is a Patreon now. You can join patreon.com/rememberwhen for extra content, including a exclusive Monday mini pod with yours truly. And also the hen do is still on sale. And for the Opera House and all the regional theatres, you can go see that this September. Also, if you're outside of here, is outside of this room, so anybody, if you're in Southern Ireland or in England, Scotland and Wales, Bridesmaids is also touring from this July. Just check your local theatre, it's probably there. My guests today, I'm married to one and booking the other. It's comedians. Which one? Let's guess. Karl and Sean Hegarty.
Good to be here.
Listener, vote who you think she should be married to.
Yeah.
We'll do this to the camera, will we? And they'll put a phone number up for each of us.
I hate that. That
Fucking
kills
drives me
me.
mad.
Do you know when you see people on X Factor and they finish their song and the phone number goes Bob and they're all
Oh yeah.
the phone thing and
They
you're
had
like,
to do it on Dancing with the Stars, the
Yeah.
RTE version of Strictly, and I was like, oh, I know people are doing it, and they're like, I'll go, oh.
do you know, no wonder people, there's this Strictly curse thing, because do you not find that they all hold hands at the end when their dancing's done and their contractual obligations to do a dance is done, and they stand there for the judges like feedback, like arms around each other, holding
Just
hands.
the couples?
Why? The people who are dancing together, they're not
But
standing.
you're so close, you're rehearsing all the time, and when it's
Yeah.
all body to body, it's very intimate.
But I couldn't, I would feel bad after we finish our dance and we're standing there in front of the judges if I had some fella with his arm around me and me with his arm around him and then looking over to my husband in the front row, did we do well? Look at us near booking.
I've known every year that they've had it in Ireland, I've known someone on it because there's comics on it. So I've known people. I know Sean Walsh that did Strictly, and I've known a couple others kind of half did it. One of the men said he just started doing it, and he said, oh, we were rehearsing in the first week and I kept hitting her boob, whatever thing they were doing. And I said, I'm so sorry. She goes, get used to it. It's going to happen every day.
Yeah.
And he was like,
my boobs are getting bigger.
No, but I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
He was just saying
Is he in a relationship?
He was in a relationship, probably still is, yeah. And it was just that thing of, but it's that intimate, it's, it's physical.
Yeah.
It's not a sexual thing. You're just, sorry. But it was just because you're constantly hitting off each other. But yeah, that's probably what starts the Strictly curse.
We had Leah O'Rourke on this a few months ago. She was the first one.
She did the one.
She put it out first. God love her. Self-confessed shit dancer. But
then if you're ever going to learn, do you know what I mean? Fucking learn from the best.
Yeah, well,
because you're paired off with a professional dancer, aren't you?
Yeah, but it depends if you're going on. If you're going there as a comedian, I think you're probably going on there. Who was it? Bill Bailey did it? Didn't he? Oh no, what did he win?
Bill Bailey
something?
did one. He won. I think. Yeah.
And he came out of it really well. But then Sean Walsh did the whole.
Sean Walsh kissed somebody.
And it fucking near.
I saw his show about it, and its show is I saw his 2 shows about it basically,
really?
and they're amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's about one of the best Edinburgh shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Sean was always a brilliant comic. He'd so much skill, so much talent, but I said this to him, so I don't mind saying it, but it was like early Ronaldo when he'd do all the step overs and stuff. You could see he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But now he's putting it all together. So
Yeah,
it was now it's 28-year-old Ronaldo. I was just like, this is all his skills. He has all these impressions. He can do everything. I just thought, this is
He's
kind
got the
of
full package
it was
now.
always going to happen, but it's a bit sad that something horrible had to happen to him. That not necessarily self-destruct. I mean, he kissed a girl. I mean, he kissed somebody.
Not the end of the world.
He shouldn't have. Yeah, it's not. When you think
Which
of some
people
of the
do
stuff
all the time, but he happened to get caught.
Katy Perry did it. Look at her song.
Yeah.
She liked it.
She liked it.
Apparently.
But I think the fact that she confessed and got in front of it.
Yeah. She got ahead of the
sometimes
path.
it's not the act, it's the denial. But yeah, when I was out there once, I was there with one of the guys who was doing it, and one of the male dancers walked through and just and I've never seen a body like it.
Oh, really?
I genuinely was like, oh my God, that's physical perfection.
One of my favourite pastimes, besides telling Sean off, is I love watching people dance on there's a dance trip called The Royal Family, and the girl who's the lead of it is the girl who choreographs all of Justin Bieber's dance videos and Jason Derulo's and do you remember the Rihanna halftime show? where everyone was mocking it online.
Yeah.
Are you doing online?
Am I doing online?
Just like
Have I used the internet? Is that one of the prepared questions?
have you heard of the internet? I mean, like, do you do much social media? Like, are you?
I don't do. That's actually that's actually my plan now. I recorded 3 of the tour shows I did. Mainly
loads
more
of
for. I
footage.
did a bit of crowd work. Yeah, and there's footage from last year. And I have pretty much all my gigs from going back and TV appearances.
Yeah.
So May I'm taking off and chopping up into clips.
That's
MySpace.
So I'm going to take you.
MySpace.
You're lucky to get me now. Yeah.
You should start off with MySpace, move on to Bebo, then
Yeah.
then join Facebook, win your way onto Instagram.
No, I'm on all these things, but I never
You
do
don't
any.
post?
Yeah, I don't. I've like 7 posts or something like that, and even
like
more.
Victoria Beckham. She's like,
I'm very
I'll
like.
be
I'm
exclusive.
But you're
very
great at
like
topical
Victoria.
material too.
I can't. Yeah, I know. It's one of those like this
You
sort
need to
of
film
thing.
your gigs, that's what you need
if
to
this,
do.
if I could show up and do a podcast, I'd do it every. I could do it every day. Literally, I could talk.
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
I think of
We'll
something
only
to talk
have
about.
you in here once.
No, I will. It's a bit of a drive. It's a bit of a. I keep going to the other. I'll want it recorded down the other end of the
Yeah,
street.
the other end of the street.
But no, I have with the crowd work and topical material. I'll always do something.
Because that's what you're seeing so much of now. Like comedians posting a lot of live
Yeah.
crowd interaction, and that's sort of what builds.
And it's great when you see some
Stop
good
it.
putting
Yeah.
the stuff up and doing well out of it. But there's some people like, oh
Oh,
God.
some shit out there.
Like, oh, look at this. He destroyed a heckler. And it's like, hey, you're shit. No, you're shit. Ah,
Yeah,
million views. And you're like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What pisses you off most? The things that get loads of views online? Like what types of videos? Are you like, why does that thing get loads of views? It doesn't
Do you
deserve
know
it.
what I hate? Do you have TikTok? No.
I'm on it. And I when I
would
started,
love to
it
see
all
you do
popped up.
TikToks.
But I never
See,
really.
like if you were telling a joke right now, right, and it had gone viral,
Yeah.
I could repost your joke and just do this.
Oh yeah,
And get all the views.
reaction.
Yeah. And I'd get fucking 100,000 followers, 5 million views.
Take my name off it and all that, is it?
It's just
People
you
get
performing on
more
stage.
views
You're just doing this.
reacting to somebody else's video than the original video gets, and that just
Yeah.
feels like we're in the Matrix.
But I've seen people doing like material from comedians from the 90s, and I go, that's somebody's bit.
Yeah.
I know that bit.
It might
And
be
people go,
somebody we
oh
know.
my God, you're amazing. I go, oh. So that's annoying when you see,
Yeah.
you know,
I also hate when people rip comedy content, audio, and just lip sync to it.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Lip
There are
syncing's the
people that-
worst.
But there's people that do that. They do it really well, and it looks really funny. But I just be like, but let's just why not just go
Yeah,
watch the
yeah.
clip of the comedian doing it?
But can you imagine being single, right? And you meet someone for
Yes,
the first time.
gladly. Give me a while.
That's
You're
why I'm
damaged
here.
goods, don't
We're here to tell you something.
Sorry, can we just reverse? Sean just pointed to my stomach and said, "You're damaged goods." Fuck's sake.
Because you're pregnant.
You love damaging women.
Am any of you damaged now?
Oh, fuck, pointless. I always say Sean has always, like, growing up, Sean never wanted to have kids, never wanted to get married, and he has literally done nothing since.
Look at me now.
As an adult, he's
have kids.
consistently got married and had kids.
Did you ever want to have sex with a man?
I'm fucking considering it now.
At least they can't get pregnant.
I didn't want to have that either.
Well.
Shit, it's on the list.
What were you going to say? Imagine you were single
Yeah,
and...
imagine you were
Sorry.
single and you went on a date with someone and they were like, oh yeah, I'm big on TikTok, you know, I have like 5 million followers or whatever, and you're like, oh no worries, and you have a nice date and stuff, and then you text them a week later and you're like, do you want to go out tonight? And they're like, I can't, I'm learning a video,
I'm
lip sync.
lip syncing someone's video tonight.
and that's it.
4 hours. I know.
Fucking talentless.
I
Talentless.
know. No,
You're
it's...
saying that like everyone's going to come down hard on me. They're going to fucking
No, I agree. I don't think
share
there's
this
any skill
and
involved
lip sync
in
it.
It drives me mad. Oh, share this. I'd love if somebody shared you just bitching about fucking talentless lip syncers.
Lip sync to it.
and lip synced it to perfection. It'd
But
be
then there's
unreal.
that clip on TikTok that people are doing the audio to where it goes, if you're going to lip sync to a video, please do it properly before you upload it. And then people were lip syncing to that video. And it feels like Inception. Do you know what it feels like? Where it's chicken or the egg. There's loads of examples of what this is like. Guys, that was great analogies.
That was.
Anyway, here's a clip.
Aye. What about you? Is there like certain videos you're like, why is that doing?
No, I
are you online but you're not posting? But you're
I don't
watching?
post. I'm
consumer?
but not so much. I would watch YouTube.
Aye.
So I'd watch kind of
Longer form stuff.
yeah, I'd watch the opening monologues of the likes of Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So topical jokes. I
Yeah.
just kind of it's a way of almost getting the news.
Yeah.
You
On
know,
material.
On material.
No, I would no, but one of my tips I give to new comedians, which I think is I met a guy again the other night, and he told me that was a great tip, and I went, it is actually a good tip. Is when you're writing jokes, and I do this naturally anyway. This was always before I even did comedy. Is when someone does a setup, every joke is a puzzle. So when you do the setup, pause it, or you're watching someone on the YouTube, pause it, and try and finish the joke. And if you come up with a different answer, a different second half that works, you have a new joke.
Yeah.
If you come up with the same one, you're tking like a comedian. So if
That
you're
sounds like something that you've done or would do. Or
Yeah,
Sean and I
I
used to play games when we were drinking. And
now
hide
look where it's got you.
We just call a child down from upstairs and be like, who's the mum and dad? Just the guess.
Well, we can't afford the alcohol for two.
But you know, like we've done games before where you're like, oh, I'll give you a setup, and then you try and think of it's mostly me just like giving
Yeah,
a
yeah,
setup,
yeah.
and then Sean will try and think of a punchline for it because that's his thing, is like one-liner jokes.
But then,
it's-
yeah, even watching panel shows and stuff, you'd watch panel shows. I used to watch them with like a notepad, pen and
Yeah,
paper, and
yeah.
you would sit there and you would try and like play along with the game and
that's-
think
but
of
the
what
same
you would
thing.
say.
Yeah.
Whose line is it anyway? The
Pictures.
improv game, mid-90s, so 5 years before I did comedy, and twice Paul Merton said something I just thought of. And I'm like, oh, I think like a comedian. And he was the only one I knew that did stand-up as well. So I was like, I think like a
Yeah.
So, you already know the skills are
Do you know what happens
embryonically there or something.
on the blame game regularly? Colin Murphy says something, and I'm like, oh, and I've just scored off my page.
Oh, yeah.
So we obviously have a similar train of thought when it comes to.
But
like,
you're also trying to attach something to the same thing.
it's the same.
So
it's the same news story.
Biden is coming to Northern Ireland, so we're all going to go something. So it's almost trying to find the other angle.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, when I was talking about watching the American monologues. So like I'd written a Trump joke that he wants to undo everything Obama did. So he's going to kill his two kids, right? And Jimmy Kimmel did it a couple of months later, a softer version of it.
Yeah.
But I went, I can't do Trump jokes. You have to do them. If I do a Trump joke, it has to be an Irish Trump joke. So then I had the joke about, I compared the Republicans in America to Republicans here. And I say, the Republicans in America, they're religiously intolerant and won't give away their guns. Whereas here, they're different, right? But it has to be an Irish angle to it
Yeah.
because when you've got teams of writers in America writing Trump jokes, if you try and make it universal, it's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
done again.
It's be
that
done.
thing
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Someone's going to get it or be close to it. So that's
Yeah.
So it's almost like, oh God, I better make sure. But then you realize, no, you can't do too much of that.
So that's obviously great advice that you've given comedians. But I remember doing a workshop whilst I was at uni years ago, and a well-known actor from here came in and did like the workshop. I'll not name who it is.
Oh my
but
God!
they
Did he give you 50 Shades of?
No, I wish. I'd be knocked up by somebody else right now. Sorry, Sean. We don't know if it's his either. It's fine. But we did this workshop.
There is a lot on the blame game, isn't there? There's a full panel.
And he came in and and his advice was, listen, nothing's original, just sort of take what you want and just do what you want with the stuff that's already out there. And I was all, well, that's stealing. But also, like, I know, like, no concept is really original, but your take on it can be original. But he was just like, just do what's out there.
It's like when
Not
you're
necessarily for stand-up comedy, but for writing and
in general. If you're writing stand-up comedy, I think the best thing you can do as well is when you are writing topical material, for example, the first joke you think of is going to be the most obvious one that most of the population is going to think of.
Yes.
The second one's going to be even less so, and the third one is the one that you're supposed to post online because it's the one that's going to be most original and most.
And sorry, on that exactly, that's advice I've given. But the other thing is try and connect two things. So, like, I don't know if, let's say, IKEA had just opened in Belfast and Biden visited, going, geez, IKEA really going big, inviting Joe Biden. You know, that's not a great joke, but just trying to think of connecting two topical things makes it original rather than Biden has come here, so blah, blah, blah.
You're saying, like, the first one's obvious and then you have to, like, think of a second one. To quote the blame game again, one episode, there was something about, Protestants.
Have you been on
all the
plane?
episodes about on one particular one, and like Tim made it was about, do you know what it was a company that had started making coffee that was like King Billy coffee, and then he was like, it can be enjoyed with a Jaffa cake. But I had that written down, but obviously that's the exact same joke. So then when it came to me, as all, well, fuck the audience, it's the edit that'll matter. So I made the joke again, but said a Club Orange. And so I'm fucking still saying my joke. But obviously the Jaffa cake is the one that made it, because obviously
Was it regular coffee or decaf? Like,
yeah. Oh, why didn't
Very
I-
nice.
Neil might have made that joke. That's probably more of a Neil
no,
joke.
why the fuck would you say that? I've just came up with it.
Well, what I'm saying is because it's a better joke. I'm complimenting you, Aunt Neil, in the same sentence.
Okay.
Cappuccino sounds Catholic.
Is that your northern accent?
I don't know what it was.
Can you do an accent?
That was Donald
up
Trump.
here?
I not like I've done it on stage in the moment, but I don't think I can. I'll try now under huge pressure and feel miserably.
See,
Where's my Danner?
that was good.
No,
You asked me what your dinner is.
Yeah.
You have to call yourself Karl.
Karl. Oh, hi,
Hi,
Karl. Oh, that's
Karl.
actually what my friend's son calls me. Hello, Karl.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Karl Bundorn. Instead of Spain.
Yeah.
Karl Bundorn.
So you were gigging in the Empire last night. Do you
Unbelievable, I was.
find yeah? Do you find the audience is different up here than they are down south?
Yes. And I really enjoy them, actually. I've really enjoyed gigging in the north. In recent years, I used to always feel a bit of tension because I'd come off the train and there'd be people going, like, I remember, I think it mightn't have been the first couple of times I was in a car with other comedians. The first time I got the train, I went, I'm running a little late. So I got in the taxi. And your man go, all right. And then he starts getting other people for the taxi, which was a new concept to me.
Was it a black taxi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shared taxi. He
Shared.
goes, where are you going? I went to Renshaw's Hotel and then near the Empire. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, and he said, where's he gone? And he comes back with other people. And then... And he goes again, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm on a
Why
bus.
is he gathering
why am I? I'm in the taxis.
Hop on,
Should I have
hop
got a
off
bus? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll drop you there. Now, come on.
Yeah.
Is it I wasn't even aware of the concept.
A black taxi is basically a wee tiny.
Is it still that
bus.
like that? Is it?
Oh, that's the
Now
way
you
they
have to
work.
cycle while drinking a pint.
Oh yeah.
You have to do now
aye.
singing Queen, don't you?
Yeah.
But
Or
no, it
Maniac.
used to be. I think I couldn't tell you how many years, maybe 5-10 years. It's really been buzzing and it's great up here. But I used to. It was partly me. You know, because when I came up here when I was a kid, it was for football matches and there'd be British armies
Aye, so you
going
still
through
had that?
checkpoints and go, we're just going to a match, you know, we're literally going to an Ireland under 21 versus Northern Ireland under 21 in
Yeah.
Portadown or something like that.
those are the ones that are
And
heavily
Yeah,
armed.
yeah, it was unbelievable. I was
Yeah.
like, this is ridiculous.
It's where you least expect it, is where
Yeah,
shit's
yeah.
gonna kick off.
Yeah.
But as regards the audiences now, do you feel like you have to change your material when you come up?
No, I think one of the things I've the advantage of being from the south. So if I take the piss,
Aye.
like I was in Derry last week and I was talking about, I love being in Derry. I'm from Limerick, the other great city on this island, beginning with L. And they know I'm joking rather than if I was English.
Yeah, of course.
Going, I love it here in London,
Oh,
Derry.
that was you said that?
Yeah.
We've been talking.
No,
We're not
I love
happy.
it here in London, Derry, and it's a genuine mistake. My family are from here.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
don't know. People go, fucking this prick here. fucking
Yeah,
here."
yeah.
But I did it. Now. It's too long a story. Well, no, I'll try and tell it quickly. I have a thing about in my show about Spike Milligan wrote a book about his World War II. So it's about his experiences in World War II, and one of the things in the book is that the British soldiers on the front in Europe during World War II, because they were lonely and homesick and missing their sweethearts, used to give each other hand jobs. And I got this for my 17th birthday, this book. I remember reading it going, like, that's why the lads go to Irish college. But I was reading it going, this is unbelievable. And then my friend who gave it to me said, did you read the book? Did you see the bit about hand jobs? And we were laughing about it going,
Whilst wanking each other off?
yeah, just literally. No, not quite. But like literally going. So now on stage, I was acting it out on Derry. You know, have you written to your sweetheart back home? But anyway, I did the whole bit, but I did the line at the end. Do you know? I think it's the worst thing I've ever heard a British soldier doing. And the laugh, it was that laugh, and again, in the wrong mouth, that would have been highly offensive.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing I've ever heard, but you know.
Yeah, with the accent,
but
yeah.
They genuinely, the laugh in Derry and the following night in Belfast was so big. I went, oh, that's
Do you know what that
Interesting.
laugh was? People were going, Chucky our laugh.
Yeah. But it's
You fucking wait.
Yeah, but then it's that thing of they know I know rather than you sometimes say something ignorant
Yeah.
and does he fucking know? That's annoying if he thinks that.
Yeah.
So but I like that. I don't know would it, even like and it's a joke, but I don't know would I've got away with that 15, 20 years ago when I first coming up.
It's almost
Probably
like you
not.
get away with it because you're, in a way, the victim of the joke, isn't it? You know, it's like if you're...
Yeah, it's my stupidity, my naivety in the joke. Yeah.
He's getting wanked.
I'm only acting it out.
How's that the victim?
No, I mean in general,
In the
like when
sense-
you're
yeah.
telling jokes, it's like if
You're
you're...
explaining jokes through the whole
I
time.
know. Fucking that's what it's like at home all the time.
Is it baby brain or what do you think it is?
No, I'm stupid. Born this way. Proud of it. Sean writes my material.
I'd hate that.
That's why it's so shite.
I'd hate to have to edit the blame game.
Do you know one time in the blame game, Jackie, who's the producer, Sean's got his fucking... What's this?
What's this?
What way have you brought it in? Ireland's funniest joke 2017, Sean
Just
Hegarty.
says I write the worst material.
4 people entered.
Funniest joke. Well done.
No, we did, aye,
Congratulations.
that's
Is
actually
that the Bray competition? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
This keeps getting moved around our house.
As in, she keeps putting it away and I keep taking it back out.
It's nice. I've won awards but never got a physical award.
That's
What
the
a-
first one I've proper...
Yeah. That's
won,
it.
like.
And
That was, but then you also came runner up on like the pun thing as well. I know it's not
The UK
winning.
pun championships. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
Beat some big comedians on the way to the final too.
Yeah.
Some good ones.
yeah.
Yeah,
Who was in
that's
it?
good. Can't remember.
Huge.
Genuinely, you could search online, but
you're
about
literally
Glen
on.
Guy?
You're
Glen
literally.
Moore, you know Glen Moore?
I do. Yeah. You're literally on a show about remembering and you can't remember.
I know.
You're very off
What
brand.
do you call your man, the big tall guy?
Greg Davies.
No, he's not a
No.
one-liner comedian.
Yeah,
Darren
but he's big and
Walsh.
tall. That's what you
Jordan-
asked.
Oh yes, well that is true. The boogie man. What awards have you won?
It doesn't matter what. I can call myself an award-winning comedian if I've won awards.
Do you know what? By like you could give yourself that accolade because what constitutes as an
Yeah.
official award?
Yeah, you mean yeah.
I
You
could
could.
print out a certificate on Microsoft Word that says Diona is the funniest girl in this room, and that would be true. To be fair,
You don't know how I identify now.
it's in your bits,
Yeah,
man.
you saw my
I
bits.
don't know. I don't know why I said that, Karl. I feel like I've me too'd myself.
I feel judged. Yeah, but I mean, you could have won the Perrier and award. You could have won Best Joke of 2017.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you're great. What was the joke now? Everyone in the home wants to know.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Do you think... Wait a wee second.
Get
Do
it
you-
right now. You
do you want
can't.
me
You
to
can't
No.
miss.
No. Do you think if one Domino's pizza place was to close down, all the rest would have to follow?
Very nice.
Thank you
Very
very
nice.
Very good.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
I'm glad you told it because what I was going to say, I was like, oh, I know it. So I was going to go, which doesn't make sense. I was going to go, do you think if one pizza place closed down, that all the rest had to follow me? We'd be like, I don't know, how bad are they bankrupt?
That's what I find funny about people who steal jokes and don't change them.
They don't do it right.
They get it wrong. So that they
Yeah.
think, oh, that joke's brilliant. And they go,
And I
literally
just-
that. Oh, do you think if one pizza place closes down, the others will domino?
Could you imagine if I was on stage? I didn't even use the word domino there.
I know, yeah.
People would be like, I don't know.
Doesn't make
how
sense.
bad are they struggling?
I've often thought of doing that as a character, just going on and doing jokes wrong, but like really famous jokes.
Yes.
Do you know,
Well,
like,
We know a comedian friend who,
Yeah.
who
who
did
does that
A guy-
unintentionally?
a guy who was in the sketch group with me years ago, Tom Flight, really naturally dry, funny guy. He has since moved to Texas, but he used to tell the joke about he used to go, how do you
Do you want me to tell it? In case you did it wrong?
he would go, how do you get a Pokemon on a bus? Pikachu. And they go, oh shit. It's how do you get Pikachu
Oh, yeah,
on a
yeah,
bus
yeah.
Pokemon?
Oh,
Right,
sorry.
Karl.
All right. Yeah.
maybe I should phone him and he should tell it.
You need to say Lewis for him.
Lewis? Oh, on the Lewis. Yeah.
No, we have buses as
know,
well.
many
Is that making it topical? Is that what you do?
Yeah. Or do you get Pikachu on a
relevant.
black taxi?
There was I don't know which colour is the new line, Lewis. How'd you get a Pokemon on the green line?
Yeah.
Pikachu.
We don't have a Lewis up here. We don't know what it is. It's a tram, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Who's Lana Bus? Because she gets her own like lane. And who is she? Is she royalty?
Yeah, if you read it the wrong way, it's so banal.
How No way. But that's missing a shaving.
Do you know that's one of my whatever ADHD or whatever autism spectrum I'm on is words. Like
Backwards?
so with jokes. No, not backwards. Seeing other words in the words. Like
It's Arabic.
The first time it happened, like, where are you from? And they were Norway. Drop the R, no way, right? And it's funny straight off. Every time since, I feel like I'm cheating. It was me that did it, but I feel like I'm doing someone else's line.
Why? Because you've already said it.
Yeah, I've already said it. But the one I was telling someone this last week, the one that it freaked me out because of how it happened. So I was gigging in Dubai, and where are you from? New Zealand. What's your name, sir? And he goes, Ewan Hume. And I was chatting, and I go,
He sounds congested.
no,
Him.
you know, but I was there. What is it? There's something. I'm missing it. I knew there was something there, and I couldn't work it out. I was hosting the show, came back on, and I'm looking at it. I couldn't work it out. At the end of the show, like half an hour after the show, Ewan Hume. His name is you, and who, me?
Oh, yeah.
And I knew it was there, but I couldn't see it. And that, like, this is, I'd say 8 years later, and it still gnaws at me that I didn't. I feel like I cheated the audience.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed
You let
that I
yourself
didn't
down.
give.
They
I didn't
deserved
gi-
that joke.
He gave it to me, and I didn't share it with them.
I think they've forgiven you.
They don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and but
Imagine if it was like the butterfly effect. Do you know, like if just you had told
Yeah.
that joke and it would have had
You'd have been on Live
enriched.
at the Apollo.
Some of those people are dead
You'd have been
now.
on Shane's podcast.
No, I don't even mean that. I mean the audience.
some Russian went home angry and said, Putin, we need to go again. Ukraine, fuck them.
My name backwards is annoyed. And I'm in the perpetual state.
Which is how people feel when you tell them.
Yeah. Annoyed.
My name is an anagram of lark pains.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
The one, I don't even know who came up with it, but the Kylie Minogue is an anagram of "Oh, you leaky minge."
No. That's brilliant.
I think it was on
And
Have I
the
Got
age of her
News for
now.
You, like in the 1990 or something like that.
She does have a leaky.
She definitely have a licky
minge
mention.
Yeah, yeah. Do you reckon she's pregnant? That's something else I have in common with Kylie.
Yeah. Licky dits. Yeah.
And Jason Donovan's been in both of you.
Were they a real
I
couple?
just closed my eyes and drew back the curtain. They were a couple.
In real life, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were a wee bit before my time.
Yeah, thanks.
They were like, I knew of them and all, but they'd left Neighbours by the time I got into it.
I think
They were Neighbours, weren't they? Not Home and Away.
Yeah, neighbours. And I was born on the exact same day, the exact same year as Danny Minogue.
Right. Oh God,
Which-
look how things have turned out. for
Which
yous
one of
both.
us do you think looks better?
Kylie.
So it's weird when she ever, because she's not as famous, obviously, but if she ever appears, I go, do you know she's 51? People go, what? How did you know that?
Do you know recently? I have to make up a different sentence so that the person doesn't know I'm talking about it. But I was somewhere, and a girl walked past who owned the premise that I was in, and I was all to the girl that I was sitting with, who also works there. I was like, God, doesn't she look bloody brilliant for her age? And the girl said to me, I know, she's 40 this week. And I went, oh, right, okay, well. I thought she was much older, which is why I thought she looked great for her age. But yeah,
Surely
she looks 40.
looks great for any age if she looks
Yeah.
great.
Like, she looks great for 55. Like, yeah, she's 40 this week. So, aye.
Oh, God.
Okay. I take that back then.
Anyone listening who's 40 recently?
Yeah.
I'm 40 in December.
Nobody
what's
can
it like?
believe
Do you say
that.
you're 51?
51,
What's
yeah.
50 like?
Um,
Obviously the beginning of the end, but I mean,
it's yeah, it was weird, but like when I was not that much younger, well, it's when I was in my 20s, early 30s, 50 seems so long ago and so old.
Yeah.
But it's almost, I find it weird that even
the
younger
Alzheimer's.
comics that are, I forgot I had that, terrible joke.
you should say it again. And then again.
Did I do my Alzheimer's joke? They, do you know, Stuart Francis, I'm sure you know, he had
Yeah.
that brilliant joke about, did I do my deja vu joke? And I was doing a gig with him and he came off stage and I went, I've heard that deja vu joke before. And I could see him getting really angry until the audience laughed.
Yeah.
And he realised what I'd done. But it was
Yeah.
a wonderful moment. Thank God the audience,
Got it.
I've heard that deja vu, and he just turned and he went, oh yeah, he knew what.
There's a shop called Deja Vu in Newcastle.
There's one in Newcastle and one down the Lisburn Road as well.
And every time we pass it, Sean's like, I could have sworn I've seen that shop before. Every time. And he takes a photograph of it every time. And I just don't know why. It's so annoying. Do you have seen it before?
Yeah.
So what you're saying, 50 feels...
50 feel. I still feel young. I don't feel much different. It's more about, like, recently I've started going to the gym again, so I actually feel good.
Yeah.
So at different times, you know, I could, oh God, I really feel 50. But when I was 40, oh God, I feel 50. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think for, let's say my generation, I don't think age, you should have a certain status, equivalence. Like, people aren't doing things normally. Like, I would say when I was a kid, people went, right, you're in your 20s now, whoever you're going out with, you marry them and you stay with them. You have
Everything's
children.
later.
You buy the house, you work that job for 30 years, or then you retire, and then you die. You know, so there was a natural pattern to things that, you know, you might change. Oh my God, he's changed jobs. He's moved to a different, you know. It wasn't, he got divorced. This is crazy. Well, more down south. But yeah, I think now, all things are open. Like, you know, I see people, you know, my age. You know, I was in Austria last week and Dylan Moran paraglided for the first time, and him talking about it, going, oh, I hope he turns this into a bit.
What's he, mid-50s? What are you?
He's the same age, he's 51. He's the same age, yeah. I think he's slightly younger than me, which is really fucking annoying. I saw him years before. He was already famous and fabulous, and I saw him 3 years before I even started doing comedy, and realising, you know, when you realise, that guy's the same age as me. I didn't realise it at the time, but no, he was marvellous watching him.
Are you? What's your feelings towards turning 40? Because people do think you're a lot younger.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like in my 30s, a lot of it is fighting to stay relevant. Do you know? Because you have like the younger early 20s, and it's almost like a generational
He's lip
thing.
syncing on TikTok.
I am.
Yeah, but I think there's that hunger from TV people. Oh, we need a younger person. We need a younger person. Get in. Like, when you come on the Blame Game, I used to laugh at the Blame Game.
Before she was on it.
No. I used to laugh at how the fuck is there like Neil is in his 40s. How the fuck is there 4 or 5 guys in their 50s?
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't have a male guest for about fucking 3 years.
Because there was just...
Because it was literally
five
like, I'm going,
white
who's
middle-aged men?
Who's the woman this week?
Yeah.
Before you joined it, and I was like going, but this, I was like, this
That's
is...
why they brought me on, so they can get male guests. That's the only reason I'm there.
we really want Gary Delaney.
Yeah.
He did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did too. I know he did. Yeah. I met. Well, Gary was one of the first people I met in comedy. I love Gary. It was. I used to find that just the general thing, watching it, going, this is how are they getting away with this?
I know. And you would think a lot of the things now are for like all the younger comedians, but that's not.
Yeah, but the younger comedians, I think, the point I was going to make is, so a young comic comes along, shows potential, so they're 22 and they go, oh, this guy's going to be good. Right, put him on television, just throw him somewhere where they'll flounder.
When
and
they're
they
not
go,
ready.
They're not ready, and they go, no, goodbye.
And then they're done.
And then they get really good and they come back. Happened to Chris Rock. Chris Rock was... Oh, he's brilliant. Eddie Murphy, this guy. And then he was on TV stuff. He was on SNL. Now, stuff that was probably good. He'd write, blah, blah, blah. But then he was gone. Chris Rock was gone. And then it was that special, bigger and blacker. And suddenly everyone went, this guy, this is what we've been waiting for. But then he was ready. You know, and he probably turned down every gig that he got doors slammed in his face.
But that's something I've always talked about too, about, you know, there's no rush to like do your first or your first show. Like, if that takes 10 years, at least let your first, the show that you're using to showcase yourself and go, this is what I am as a comedian. Take 10 years to figure that out. You don't need to do it in a year, because I find a lot of comedians now, like within their first year of comedy, are putting on their first solo show, and you're like, you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't have it, and you're also burning up. So all your friends will come along and your family come along. They go, yeah, you must let us know. That was great. You must let us know when the next one is.
Yeah.
And then the next one's like, oh God, I'm away.
And then you have to we don't like you anymore.
Yeah, but you need, like, even if, let's say the two of you started on the same day and said, if one of you is progressing quicker just because you're female. No, but you know, if one of you is progressing quicker, you start going, Mike, I'm failing. I'm failing because they're, you know, whoever the two people are, you know, I'm failing because they're doing better than me. But it might be they're more suited to, you know, jokes, you know, even the jokes, you think, that's a great joke, and it's that lesson you were talking about earlier. And then you go, oh no, 10 people on Twitter have it. And you know you came up with it. So you feel a bit, but I did think of that. Yeah. But that's the lesson you learn as you go on.
If you spend 18 minutes a day doing something, that you will be better at that thing than 90% of the other people who do it. That's a very convoluted sentence, but you know what I mean? It's like you spend 18 minutes a day playing the piano, or 18 minutes a day running, or 18 minutes a day I don't know what you want to do, reading that book about your man wanking, whatever it is.
I was trying to think of it. Have I to do another 17 minutes, 53 seconds of sex?
You gotta get so
just
good
to
at
be
it.
good at it.
Yeah, like, so you could pick up a hobby and then do that. Like if you did 18 minutes a day, it's consistency.
It's the whole 10,000 hours thing too.
Yeah. But how do you prove it? But is that time I heard an interview with a guy one time, and his father was a table tennis coach, and he coached his two sons. But I think the sons played with their mates.
I started reading that book recently.
Is it a book? But these guys, so whatever, it's in England, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's a pocket in England where the best table tennis players come from, because they all got coached by this guy and got competitive with each other.
So they're all playing all the time?
So they got so good. And they're just better than everyone else
There's
in the country.
like 10 of them in the one street.
Yeah, is it all?
They're all in like the top 20, top 30 in the world.
It's like boxers in West Belfast. Matthew Said.
Sounds familiar, could be.
I don't take in all the information. I just...
Did him and his brother, was he number one in the world, or? No, he didn't get that good.
We're 40 minutes in and you finally say something.
But it's like boxers in West Belfast. I've never known a smaller area.
But if it's hothoused, if it's like Belgium with the football.
What's he got now?
Another award. You've a boxing?
Your boxing medal? From the comedians boxing, or aye? Well, I don't know.
Who did you beat?
Pete Giffen.
Oh, I don't know Pete Giffen. Pete Giffen sounds like a boxer.
Yep, but he's a comedian.
Wasn't that
from here.
He's in a box now. That was another attempt at the accent.
You have your record of achievement, Joe, from school, and look at the amount of certificates and stuff you gathered over the years, and it just goes into the attic and gathers dust for years. Do you know what I mean?
But you get to call yourself an award-winning comedian if you have them.
Yeah. Oh yes, because you could be a comedian who has won an award, but it doesn't have to be a comedian.
Don't reveal the full secret.
It doesn't be a comedy-related award.
I did win the
Still not an
RTE
award-winning comedian.
the RTE New Comedy Awards in 2000.
You did?
Joint winner. I did win it, yeah.
Did you?
Joint winner. I did win it.
Who did win it?
I won it.
But who was the other joint winner?
James Goldsberry was his name.
Okay.
I mean, where's he now? Do you mean?
I think he still does gigs, but that was the thing, again, of people being paired with each other. So anytime someone met me, they'd go, "Oh, how's Jay?" I don't really know Jay, you know. So
was there genuinely two winners that year?
Yeah, they picked us as the joint winners.
Aye.
But it
was it like a funding thing?
I don't know. We split the money, but it was that kind of thing of if you come out. Like comedians almost come in batches as well. So it'll be like 4 people together suddenly hit the scene, you know, within a year. But it's like, oh, how's your mate? And I go, you know, you might be mates with them, or that's how you're comedy friends. You meet them in the same gig. And
I'm an island.
You're an island. Oh,
I'm
out here
on my own.
Is there many there's always a new female comic in the north, and then they disappear.
There's just not that many.
Have you been killing them?
There's a handful. Yeah, I've been taking them out.
No, I've got to take one of those boys out of the blame game.
I've got 10 boxing medals and just box those bitches' faces. No, there's definitely loads more starting. Like Sean's running an open mic competition soon, and you said there's like 11 girls have entered it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
40 comedians have entered it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good.
All new. Lots of them haven't gigged before.
In the past year or two.
Yeah, so there's definitely obviously a big appetite for it now in the north, and there definitely are more girls starting. But like when I started, I only started like 4 years ago. But when I started, there was really only maybe 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And there still only really is. There's maybe about 4 or 5 now, but there's just not that many. And it's not. And I don't at all think that it's not welcoming for females. I don't think that's the problem.
No, but it always was welcoming. I think it's a. it's a kind of a laddish culture in the dressing room at times. But if
You
there
just
was,
have to get in there and get your dick out, Karl.
it's been out for you. No one's even noticed it.
That's what I do.
That's twice now you've referenced my genitals.
I was
here.
talking about my dick.
You said no.
No, I'm getting into the green room, then, boys, and
you
I'm getting
said
my
it.
dick out.
You told me get my cock out, and you said you looked at my bits when I walked in.
So
I feel violated
I
now.
did tell everyone too we were on the book at the start. So
Do you know what though? You just don't know how many of those females who have recently got into comedy have got into comedy either because of Diona or because she's been a massive influence and how well she's done in that short. No.
No, but
been very
it is that, and
Seriously.
it's also, but it's all like I remember. And I'm slightly, when I remember there was a
you're moving away from
no, the
compliments.
topic. No, it's the same topic, but it's coming back to it. But someone saying the Republic of Ireland was shit a couple of years ago. The team was just floundering and doing nothing. And the pundit, Eamon Dunphy, one of the pundits, God, no kids are going to want to play football because of this. But I was like, yeah, but they're also seeing Lionel Messi. They don't, they're being inspired. So it could be, probably is you, but it could be, but it could be anyone. It could be
it's
any
actually
human,
Joe Brown.
because you've access to everything now.
That's it.
You know, and I'm not trying to take it away from you, but it's that thing of you see stuff and go, oh my God. Like for me, I remember seeing, I see Billy Connolly on the Late Late Show, but it was like, saying you wanted to be Billy Connolly was like saying you want to be Jimi Hendrix, and you don't even know it was that. What's the name of the instrument he plays?
Yeah.
And I saw Billy Connolly, and I remember making the decision. It was like a calling. I have to do this. But then in the first gig I went to. The next gig I went to was Sean Hughes, and Sean Hughes had a joke that I always quote. That I remember, I could write that, which was, I never used to smoke behind the bike shed. I used to cycle behind the tobacconist.
Yeah.
And it's a simple, I know, simple juxtaposition, simple twist. And I went, I think like that. That's me.
Yeah, that's
my something
style.
I could do. So Sean Hughes was an inspiration. And I remember Sean actually interviewing me for a TV thing. And I saw Billy Connolly. I said, what made you do it? Well, I saw you. I said, oh, he's too good. I saw you and I thought, no, I could do it. And he did laugh. But
He did laugh.
I did think he might be slightly annoyed. No, he did.
I took a slap to the face and then he laughed.
But it is that thing of, it's the inspiration of it. People can see, like Bill Hicks was the one, and I went, oh, that's what I want to do. But when I started writing comedy, Bill Hicks wouldn't even fucking piss on this. It's completely different stuff because it's coming from me. Like I found Bill Hicks was off doing his stuff. I could never, now I could have an attempt at writing it, but I'd nearly want someone else to deliver it. I don't think it's my style or whatever.
Is there a bit that somebody does, any comedian in the world, that you're like, oh, I fucking wish I'd have written that bit?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Every Kevin Bridges bit.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, I know, but there's a few comics I just love. There's people I watch, like Chris Kent I watch, and I go, if Chris gave me all his material, I couldn't make it as funny as he does.
It's the delivery, it's his
delivery. It's all Chris. And I go,
His style,
I said it to him right from the day one, he gets laughs that if I thought of, I wouldn't, oh no, that's not funny.
I think you could read his material and go, oh, this is quite good. And then you look at him doing it and you go, it's
just
unbelievable when he performs.
It's beautifully performed. And I go, no one else should be doing it. It's like, and it's I would almost say it's unstealable in the sense of, because people would do it and it would just,
they would do the pizza without the Domino's bit.
Yeah, it's just that, and that's beautiful. But no, I love watching. I think Kevin is just up there. I think Colin Murphy, but I think Kevin, Colin are people that they're you aspire to be that kind of thing. I remember doing. The last couple of times I've seen Colin, I just go, God, and he's
you and I were both on with him in the
golf club. Yeah, was that
the golf club?
And I was going, he's just getting better and better, and
he
that's
still
when
gets
you
really nervous.
Oh.
But you know what I love seeing in people like Colin Murphy after a gig or after the Blame game is you can see the adrenaline surging through him. You can see the buzz he gets from it, and it's so electric.
He's
and you're
very
like,
raw, isn't he?
But when he's finished, he's like, do you know what I mean? He's got an
I
electricity
used to
about
have
him.
emotion,
And you're like,
No,
this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing because you've come off there with that.
But it's seeing someone like I would. It's similar style. Look, the material is different, a different style, but I can see. I would be in the same bracket as Colin, way below Kevin with Colin,
That style.
But I can see that their style. I think oh, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's always there. And the fact that Colin is older
yeah.
is more of an inspiration than Kevin being fucking 36, being 15 years younger after his 5th arena tour. He can go fuck himself.
I know. What about you? Is there a joke or a bit that somebody's written and you're like, I wish I'd have written that bit?
No, probably earlier on in my career there would have been, but I feel like now I've kind of like gone out into kind of this unique kind of style, whereas I'm not just going out now and just going, here's a one-liner, here's another one. I feel like I'm doing things that I've kind of molded myself, where I'm hopefully not as comparable to other acts here in my field. Do you know what I mean?
Because you do a bit of everything. You do a bit of prop, a bit of music, a bit of one-liners. You're starting to do some stories now too, so it's like a pure mix.
Yeah.
I love. There's a bit that Aisling B does that I always be like, oh, like that sounds like something I would do, but I had never thought of it nor written it. But it's like I was listening, going, oh, that feels like something I could have thought of. And she talks about how, you know, men are intimidated by funny women. And she goes on to say about, like, because there's, you know, we walk through a dark alleyway just, like, you know, shitting yourself in case you get, like, strangled to death. And men are walking down going, oh, I hope someone doesn't jump out and tell me a joke. You know, it's like, kill them with jokes. And I think it's fucking brilliant, just whatever way she does it as well. But obviously she has her own eccentric style. She's like a female Russell Brand, isn't she? She's just quite,
That's a terrible accusation.
What is your remember when Karl, do we
my remember when was the two people with the same haircut that it's the significance of their deaths. The first one is George Michael, the second one is Princess Diana. So in 1984 they had the same haircut. But his was
brown and hers was blonde.
He was blonde. He'd blonde at the time. Yeah.
Right.
And I was a massive George Michael. I still am. Like Wham. I was up in my. I remember seeing the first Top of the Pops appearance of Wham. Don't look it up now because I'm like, this is the coolest thing. I was 10 years old. I was 11. I just turned 11. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Are you covering the piercing on the top of your ear?
No. But I've always, all through his career, loved George. Saw him live a few times. And like it was like a pilgrimage to me. It was like going to Mecca or something.
Yeah.
I went to see him on my own 3 times. And then went to Dublin with my girlfriend.
There's your book.
And huge fan. And when he died at Christmas, I remember I was just devastated. And the first thing I thought of was all the fuckers with the same fucking joke. It's his last Christmas.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and it's that thing of. It was the same when Amy Winehouse died, which I should have gone to rehab, or Kurt Cobain. Oh, he didn't have a gun. It's too obvious a joke. Please don't do
think
it.
Of your second joke.
But it was just the devastation I felt. I just remember being so sad, and it's someone I'd never met, but it kind of made me understand the hysteria of Diana.
Yeah.
The funny thing not funny, but when Diana died, U2 were playing in Dublin the following. I think they were playing that weekend, so it may have played the night before and the night, but I was going to the one the day after, and we'd friends. I was living in Dublin with friends and that coming up staying. So we were out in Dublin and we were coming back. Someone had the idea get chips, so I went around to the chipper around the corner, and I think one of the lads might have been with me. And Sky News was on in the thing, and Princess Diana has been involved in an accident, but the news broke while I'm in the chipper. People believe that story. You were in a chipper. What a coincidence. What were the odds you'd be in a chipper when, you know, but the news broke and we were all like, oh wow. But the first report was she was standing.
Early because the news broke like 8 in the morning. What were you eating
No,
for your breakfast?
No, it was 2. It was like
that's the time difference
do you know
between
what
the
happened?
south and the north.
I was
I most people found out in the morning. So we were.
I found out
in the morning.
So I went back. We went back to the house and I said, "Oh, Princess Diana has been in an accident, blah blah blah." And Dodie's been taken to hospital, but she was seen. That was the first. She was seen standing outside the car after the accident. So we went back, and it was like 4 or 5 people were all sitting around talking about it, and they're going, "Oh, the sympathy she's going to get now." She was, you know, and they're giving out about her.
Yeah.
And then we turned on the news and we're watching it, and then I don't know, was it an hour or whatever it was later, and they announced her death, and it was just, she was an amazing woman.
The
just
difference.
went. It was just that power of how death changes people's views on you.
Yeah.
When you're a celebrity, you know, and no,
Not even. You go to a wake and people are like, oh, she was a wee saint and doesn't she look great in her coffin and all these nice stories. You know, she was a wee bitch.
You know, but
not Diana.
No, but do you know what I mean? It was just.
I'm talking about my granny.
Diana was your granny. I was named after, but yeah, the Northern accent got spelled wrong. But it was just the way people switched.
Yeah.
Because even the front of.
All I need to do is die for people to be nice about me.
The original, I think it might have been, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, was it the Saturday or the Sunday morning? There was an article, like, so literally she died Saturday night, but I think one of the tabloids had, Prince William is really pissed, well, he didn't say pissed off, but really annoyed with his mother's behaviour. So the papers were having a go at her. You know, and so people are buying the paper and they're going, oh, she's dead. What are you talking about?
They hadn't got to print it yet.
They hadn't printed the next issue. So they had to pull all that. So it was that thing of the difference, the switch, because she'd been getting hammered by the papers for a while.
Yeah.
All about Dodie and
all
all
of a
this,
sudden.
and she's neglecting. It was all this, all the way Meghan Markle is treated now, all that negative. She dies. Woof, she's the greatest. She was the greatest person. She was. I remember even saying to someone, "This is our JFK moment. This is like, where were you?" and all that.
Do you think you'll do anything funny for your funeral? Sorry, do you
Would I pre-plan it?
But do you know when people like put the things in the coffins and they're like, help, don't bury me, let me out. Do you know what I mean? Or like, was somebody, I read recently somebody at their actual funeral service that they said they left a note with their, I don't know, family member, that when everyone got to the funeral, that they would take his phone, the guy who's dead, and text everyone saying thanks for coming.
That's what I was just thinking. I would text everyone, lads, where am I?
Yeah. Why he's all wearing black?
What have you done to me? God, I was in the hospital the other day. Where am I, lads? What is going on? And they go, what the?
Would you do anything funny for your funeral? Oh, wait, are you going to have one?
Do
you have to organise a funeral?
No, I don't want the
I
funeral.
want to write the speech for the best funeral award.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough for this. I'm alright. I always feel like
I'm going to bury you with that so I don't have to put it in our house.
What if it's worth loads of money then?
you'll come visit my grave someday and I'll have said that.
Leave it on the grave. What if someone took it? Oh, I'll take the risk.
Yeah.
I'd buy it off you. And pretend
No, it has my name on it.
Oh, does
I'm
it?
going to keep it, yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I didn't bring it here today to sell it.
What were you going to say? Would you do something? Is that what you're saying?
Do you know my whole train of thought? Like, see, when it comes to funerals, I fully believe in euthanasia. I think, imagine you had like one big last
Hoo-ha.
hoo-ha. I was going to say hurrah, but yeah, hoo-ha.
Leave on a big one, like.
Just leave on a big one. Just say your goodbyes to everyone, and then you go off and you...
Is that the Irish
Head
goodbye?
off into the forest.
ultimate Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
But there's
Then
loads
you
of
walk
cultures
into the
that do
jungle
that.
and-
Like I don't know whether it's the old persons like, here guys, I'm going to head on here, or they get forced out of the tribe. But there are loads of like groups of like different cultures who, when people get to the age where they need cared for, that they're just like, listen, I don't want to be shitting myself in big Tesco's.
Yeah.
I'll bow out.
Or even Tesco Express.
Yeah, or even Tesco. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bow out. No, I know. Yeah, because I think I'd said
Don't get pregnant then.
well, this is the thing. But I think I'd said it on Shane's podcast last week and the Patreon one about like whenever you're really old and if you're not like able to do stuff for yourself, you worry about who's going to do your do you like your personal upkeep.
Yeah.
Who's going to shave your dick is
Trimming
what
your
I
muff.
want to know.
I think some men just have loads and loads of kids, hoping that one of them will be nice to him when he's older so that they'll get the award.
Do you know what we haven't talked about? And I need to say it before we finish. What about that video yesterday of the Dalai Lama making some wee boy suck his tongue?
Did he make him?
Did he actually make him? I heard
already said it.
There's a
He said
video.
it?
It might be.
of him actually doing it.
There's a video on Instagram of a wee boy sucked his tongue. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. Do you know, it could be like they all suck each other's tongues, but maybe just shouldn't ask the wee boy to do it. But like, it's fucking rare.
The worst thing I've ever heard a member of the clergy doing.
And on that note, you probably don't have Remember When with D, or do you?
Yeah,
Because I didn't ask you to do it. Go on ahead.
Do you remember when you were a child?
Yeah, how do
you-
you know about that?
The Dalai Lama. Do you have any playground rhymes or things that you used to say or sing? I have a few of them that I've been keeping note of recently, and I'm going to say a few or sing a few and see if you remember them.
Yeah.
Right?
Your one
So-
about the football and the granny's really good.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You're bound to have heard it. my granny plays for Liverpool. She nearly scored a goal. She'd done the splits and ripped her tits and the ball went up her hole. I remember singing that from I was about 4 years of age.
I've never heard that before in my life.
You've never heard it?
Never heard that
I
before.
think it was just in his house.
There was
Unbelievable.
my mother and your mother were hanging out the clothes. My mother gave your mother a punch in the nose. What colour blood came pouring out? And then it was, I don't know, was that like a...
Oh, and that's like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then you go red, R-E-D, you are it. I'm guessing, but that's probably...
It's been a while, so...
Yeah.
you know.
What was the other one? Inside, outside, inside, scales, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
Yes!
Do you remember that?
I've heard
It was
that
like
one.
That's if you're jumping on
jumping
something.
between all the elastics. Do
The
you remember all
elastics
that?
was a thing, yeah.
Elastics,
That was
yeah.
a thing in my day as well.
We had one in Derry where we go, we are the Derry girls. We wear our hairs and curls. We wear our skirts below our knees.
Ah, Diona.
I don't know why. Well, I know why.
The Derry Llama.
Just why would we have our skirts down? I don't know. We just think,
No, your skirts go... Like, I'm assuming they meant that... Like, you'd still wear the skirts, but you just let them...
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
just,
length.
it's just
They're
long enough
longer.
to cover your
this
knees.
entire time I thought we had our skirts down and just connected below our
No,
knees.
because in Limerick...
Like we'd wear them just for our calves.
This could be misinterpreted the wrong way. Sorry to interrupt. But in Limerick, the school uniforms, all the way, like I used to
Big long ones.
Taliban designed. Like I used to
Yeah.
describe them as like when my first show, you'd be lucky to see ankles, right? So I talk about this and the different every school in Limerick. And the first time I was doing a rag week in Cork. And there was all these events, and one of the events was the school disco, where the girls dress up in their old school uniforms.
Aye.
So I'm reading the events that are coming up. I was hosting different things. I went, oh, the school disco thing. Oh yeah, I saw that when I was in college in England. And I come out. I went, Jesus, they're early. And it was like a girl in a miniskirt, school uniform, and she was my height. And then I realised, no, she's actually a schoolgirl.
Oh, right.
The school had come out. So I come out and I go, oh yeah, you want
You go to the
Jesus.
disco.
She's keen. It's like, that's tonight. And I don't know if the school bag is a necessary accessory. And then I realised, no, they're actually, and I started roaring laughing.
She'd eaten her packed lunch.
She was just walking past this girl, dressed up in her school uniform,
yeah.
And you go,
You could have got yourself in big trouble there.
We really were sheltered in Limerick. Be seeing you later, honey.
Yeah. What are the other ones?
Sorry, yeah.
Made you look, made you stir, made the barber cut your hair. He cut it long, he cut it short, he cut it with a knife and fork.
So
Did you ever hear that one?
stupid.
No.
There's a few racist ones. Then there's
Go on. We'll flip TikTok.
do you know this is fucking really, do you know, no, it's not worth it.
When I said TikTok there, I said, oh, that sounds like some Asian slur.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
No.
Dip, dip, dog shit out, pop piss.
No.
Do you remember doing that?
Dip,
Between
dip,
friends?
dog shit, you are on it. And then you run like fuck, kisses, chases.
We'll play that later.
Yeah,
Here's a joke you like. We're always slagging my Korean friend about his stupid name. Too soon?
On that note, guys, before we get any more races.
On a few notes.
Anything you want to plug? Anybody? What do you want to Carl with anything?
My gig in the Empire last night.
Yeah. Also, find you on social media on your Instagram because you're going to start uploading clips of gigs.
Yes, yeah. Karl, Spain. You find me. I think the picture is a newspaper type of thing.
I
Karl,
have
King
never heard someone plug their
Karl,
Instagram
King
by
of,
describing their profile picture.
K-I-N-G-O-V.
Search the internet, all for a profile picture that looks like mine.
It was it was about someone was killed by a Mr. Spain. It was some. So that I put that as my profile. I might have changed it. I can't remember.
I think that.
Yeah.
And then what do you want to
put
plug,
the
Sean?
laughter in what's
I put in the laughter. What comes after?
that's
Did
one
you
of mine
just make
written
that
down.
up? Did you just make that up? Shape. Like genius.
How long will this go on? I think it's getting dafter.
I was going to say he puts the laughter
What do you
in
want-
manslaughter.
Oh, why?
Every month I run about fucking 300 gigs. One in Ben Madigan's in North Belfast, one in PB's at the Moy, one in Thirsty J's in Cookstown, one in Thornbury's in Lisburn, and loads of other ones as well that I've forgotten about. But yeah, if you fancy coming along to one of those, that'd be great.
He would also like to plug his wife's podcast. Remember
I
when?
thought you were going to say he'd like to plug his wife's because he's sick of having
Thank you so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope by the end of this, everyone has figured out which one am I doing, which one am I fucking.